What you're about to see is very experimental, okay? So keep that in mind. Don't go rushing out and try this thing like it's a done deal. It is not. It is experimental. I'm still playing with it. This is just a first look at it. What it is an attempt to ascend and descend on friction hitches on an SRT, or single rope. What happens when you just have one friction hitch is it grips the rope so tightly that you can't descend on it. You just almost have to completely unload it, then restart. What I've found on two helicals is when this one comes down and hits this one, there's so much drag on the coils from the way the helical forms up that it locks this bottom one up. Plus, I've been for years trying to figure out some way that you could do an SRT ascend and descend or rappel on friction hitches. Now, descending is not such a big issue. You can always downwalk or sit stand down, as the case may be. But to just continuously go down the rope on a friction hitch is almost, well, I've never heard of it anyway. So I got to thinking about how come this works so good on DDRT but it doesn't on SRT, and the big difference is, of course, there are some frictional differences too, where the rope goes over the limb in a dynamic rope situation, but also the friction hitch is only exposed to half the climber's weight. So I thought, well, hey, if that's the case, why not two friction hitches? Each of them will be connected as in a load sharing manner so that they each only have half the climber's weight. Will that work? Well, yeah, it does. It advances quite cleanly. A Swabish will sometimes tend to tighten up as you go up, but that may be kind of a minor annoyance rather than a problem per se. I did notice that because when you're descending, half your weight's on this and half your weight's on this, the rope between these two hitches has tension in it. That makes this hitch behave differently than this hitch, because the bottom of it, or the tail of the rope coming out of that hitch, has appreciably no appreciable weight on it. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 wrap here, well, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to compensate for that difference in tension on the rope. So again, this is experimental. When you see this thing in action, it's almost like a software version of a hardware unisender. So I'm doing a sit stand here. I have a toothed ascender here so that if this thing got away from me, it would come down and catch here first. If the whole thing happened to fail, I've got a backup here. So and I'll go up just a little ways. Again, this is experimental, and I'm not going to get up real high with this thing. My ascender caulk's what happened. So we're going up. And as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll do one more so you can see it. It goes up and it's holding good. I'm bouncing a little bit and it's right there. Now, I'm going to drop my foot ascender down a little bit, get a good hold on the rope and pull right here. And you can see it's pretty fast. Let me get my foot ascender on down. It breaks quickly, but this is very controllable. This works really well going up. I'll do a stroke just to show you how easy that works. And I had a little catch there on my ascender on my belt, so I'll do one more. Maybe it'll be a little smoother. Yeah, you can see that. Now, it's going to be my first attempt at breaking this and going down. It's always hard to break. There we go. All right, I'm low, so I'm going to take my foot ascender off. It does come down. That gets very hot up there. Have to be careful where you have it. A little bit more pressure required than you might like, but I've had that same thing happen on DDRT with friction hitches too, so probably pretty comparable. So that does work pretty good.